Hi, and welcome to We Hate Skill Windows, a podcast about hating skill windows and reviewing stuff. My name is Rye. I'm the rabbit thing here. And next to me here is Chris, my co host, who is currently inhabiting the body of Frosh from Fairy Tale. And then we also have a special guest, Brian.
Hello, I am the slime, or if anyone watches anime, Rimuru. That's moving up and down right now.
Yee. So, today we are reviewing Tower of God, a little known webtoon, perhaps. Maybe if you're buried in the dirt somewhere. It's pretty popular. Honestly, probably one of the bigger ones that like mainstream people would know of. Mainstream meaning like people who only read on webtoons or something. Like if you
Even
think
that,
about
actually. I
webtoons, right? Like I mean long running wise, like Tower of God has been there for a hot minute.
Yeah,
Like what
the
else would be like
95th
rivaling that,
webtoon.
like Noblesse maybe when I was running, or
The Gamer, the God of
like
High
the
School.
gamer. Oh no. Yeah, the gamer, God of High School, hardcore leveling warrior, that sort of thing.
oh, solo leveling, I think is like next big one, but Tower
Solo
of
leveling,
God,
yeah.
I could see. Sorry, I saw it sold at a local like Chapters Indigo, like a bookstore, and
Oh,
I'm like,
neat.
whoa,
Oh,
It's going
wow.
places.
It's
yeah.
literally free online
Honestly,
there.
when I saw solo leveling being sold in stores, like I went to Meyer, uh, like a local Meyer near me, and it was just solo leveling, like on a table, and I was like, "What the hell? What's wrong? What's happening?"
Why are people paying for this?
Exactly. Why are people paying like $25 per book?
I mean, support the author and everything, but it's free
Yeah,
online.
it's free. Why? Yeah, why buy the thing when you can pirate it online?
Is it pirating though? Like, I feel
Well,
like webtoons
the
I
place
don't know.
I
It wouldn't
read
be
it is
pirating.
pirating. It depends. I mean, if you're paying for like tapas or like webtoons or something, then you're probably not pirating. But yeah, Tower of God, for those who may not be aware, uh, it's about a guy. His name is 25th Bam, I think. I honestly
Yes.
don't know how to pronounce it. Uh, I'm just gonna call him Bam. But uh, he enters the tower, but he enters it not because he was chosen, but because he opened the doors. And this is important later on because that's called being an irregular, and that's bad. Maybe. And then he meets a bunch of people. Most of them are allies, a lot of them are enemies, and then they just go up the tower. It it's really long. There's a lot of characters. It's really hard to explain.
A lot of
Yeah.
characters.
Dude. Yeah. Like now I think about it, they've introduced so many
When I
characters
was
like
reading it
before in
back,
classic anime.
the
Yeah.
reason why I ended up just watching the anime again was because I was like, there's so many characters introduced in the first part. Like I was reading the Crown game again.
Oh.
Uh, if you guys remember that part, it's
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, there there's so many random people already, and none of them matter. Well, no, like
Yeah.
two teams matter, like the Jihad
Yeah.
princesses
Yeah.
matter, but no one else matters.
I mean, it's even arguable because like some of the even like the Jihad princesses, if, for anyone that doesn't know, they're special princesses that are supposed to be like
Yeah, they're like
special
direct
power strong.
descendants of the king or something.
Yeah, something along
Yeah,
those
they,
lines.
they, they're like infused with his
Yeah, I
powers
feel
to
like they're
be
like
fun
born
to
with
do.
like better bones, better like abilities, natural abilities, and whatnot.
They're just built different.
Built different, yeah.
But yeah, like even a couple or a few of the princesses actually they disappear from this story. I mean, this is going way past what we're talking about, but like they disappear from the story after a while. Like they're not.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
if you think
no.
about it, why is Yuri even
King.
there in the first place? Why did she show up just to like give Bam a sword and then leave again and then show up like
Oh yeah.
50 chapters later and then disappear for 200 chapters and show back up? There's a
Didn't
lot
she
of
say like
characters in Tower of God that
yeah?
like seem to appear and then disappear for a very long time, and then you see them again, and they're like, "Hey, how you been?" And it's like,
I
"Oh,
know.
hey."
If you didn't binge read it, you'll be like, "Who the frick are you?" And then you have to go back like 10 years worth of reading, go like, "Oh, chapter 2."
Mm-mm.
Well, so funny thing about that, I
Oh,
was reading it back, right, and uh, I I sure hope this is his name. It was like Lero or something.
The
oh
The
yeah,
like
yeah.
sleeping guy.
blonde guy with dots under his
Oh,
eyes, like Hisoka
He's
if he
like,
was PG.
yeah,
That's such a horrible description. Uh, but he's one of the examiners for the Evankel floor, I think.
oh yeah,
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 the
yeah.
tower, yeah, the floor
Yeah,
test.
he's there, right? And he's examiner, and then he and Quaint go somewhere, or Quant, or whatever the other guy's name is, and then they
Yeah,
show up like 200, 300 chapters later, doing
yeah,
something
the
unrelated.
workshop battle.
And then
Yeah, and
it's
you're just
like,
like, "Oh
oh
my
shit,
god."
well, guess they're back. Who are you again? It's got the there's too many characters. If there was something I did want to complain about, it's there's too many characters. Not a
There's so
bad
many
thing.
fucking
It's just
characters.
overwhelming.
Yeah, and it's like I don't think they go or SU or SIU. He doesn't
Hmm.
do too much character development for some of them. It's just like he focuses on the main group. Like
Yeah, we learned
a certain
about
season is like yeah, they move along, and then people he forgets.
yeah. I there's a lot of characters that I wish there was more development. Development. Well, actually, maybe it's coming in the future, but it's not really a spoiler. I think we meet him by the Hell Train arc. I sure hope so. I think his name is like Ja Wangnam or something. The blonde
Oh,
Oh,
guy who's
yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah,
Prince
yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah,
Red
yeah.
Light District,
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
but
He
you
has a
like
lot of
don't know
development.
anything about him except that he's supposedly something important, but you don't know what. And they've
Yeah.
not explored it since. All we
Yeah,
know
no,
is got a cool ring, and that means something maybe.
I forgot he existed until well now, and like when I played the Tower of God
Oh, you pulled him in the
game.
game?
Yeah, that yeah. Oh, I didn't pull him. Like I'm at the
Ah.
story part. I'm like, oh, this guy exists. Who is he again?
Yeah, he's the like knockoff Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
That's really what he does. He throws Shinsu Pokeballs.
and it blows up kind of.
Yeah.
He gets like a really important arc really late, like in the more
Does
recent
he?
chapters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I thought
uh,
there was like slight backstory revealed, but like still not enough, I feel. I don't know.
at this point they were just hinting like as if like when I read it, they were
Hmm.
hinting as if he was like a prince. That's the way I
Yes.
interpreted it.
Because he also has the
Yeah.
ring,
Yeah,
which means something, but uh
but he's weak.
yeah, but
Yeah.
he was not a princess apparently. The princes don't get the same bonuses. They're not built different.
Yeah, just normal
I-
human.
Just some guy.
I suppose we should just start and talk about what we don't like about the series. That's always fun to do.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
I'll start with they introduced this really. Wait, am I allowed to swear on this?
Oh yeah, go
Okay,
for it.
so
Yeah, we're past like 7 minutes. All I know is YouTube usually is like, don't swear within 7 minutes, otherwise we may get rid of your channel or something.
okay.
But yeah, you're fine.
Uh, so, okay, just in case. They introduced this really cool guy. Also the other irregular Irek Mazino. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right.
Yeah, that
Um,
I never know
Oh,
how
I
to
think
pronounce
that
any of Tower of
yeah,
God's characters. Yeah, Urek Mazino or Urek, I couldn't tell you.
yeah. So they introduced him in like
He is cool.
after season one, or season two. Like he's super cool, like badass, really strong. He's like another irregular. But they never brought him back. He never and I remember at the end of that little mini arc when he was talking to Bam, he's like, "Oh, come visit me at floor something."
77, yeah.
Yeah, Bam never went. Like, and what happened to
Yeah,
him? It's
isn't
like,
Bam still on like 59 or something? It's like not even
yeah,
close.
Yeah.
I was playing like Yama's War or something, the war that never ends. God
Oh,
dang.
yeah, but we're
Oh
still happening.
lord. Yeah, the current arc is a weird one. The hiatus doesn't help. When Tower of God
No.
comes back, I'm gonna have to like reread the last like 100 chapters to find out what happened again. It's
Yeah, like that's my biggest irk. Is just like this guy was supposed to be super powerful, supposed to be like a mentor. He just disappears, never comes back. Um, and then I have bigger complaints about it in the more recent chapters or seasons. But I mean, we'll talk about it at that point.
hmm.
How about you guys?
Chris, you got complaints?
When I
As you
was
binge read
rereading
probably
it,
the most.
I was thinking, God dang, Rachel has a really crappy reason for being a villain.
I agree.
She's like, I'm so jealous that Bam has friends as Bam actively tries to be her friend. I'm like, okay,
I'm
you're
so
you're
envious of how you're getting along with people, so I'm gonna betray you.
so stupid. Uh,
Yeah, in the
I always,
anime,
oh my
I was
god.
watching it back, and there was like a part where she was talking about how like I'm no longer the person you thought I was. Like, I'm just like a pitiful, sad fuck, you know? Like, I'm just like not the woman you loved before or something like that. She said something like that. And Bam was like, don't worry, my queen. and, and, and then she pushed him.
uh,
uh,
Yeah, yeah. Even knowing what happens like many seasons later, still a really bad reason to be honest.
I
it's just
still don't
so
really
illogical.
understand.
Yeah.
She,
I know,
like,
right?
why'd
She's
she
just
try? She's not even a main
just be
character anymore.
friends.
She just wants to be special, okay? She wants to have her own friends
Well,
and
because,
not be members
like,
of BAM.
you know, roughly speaking, she's also an irregular. We know that because Head On says so.
Yep.
But she just sort of slipped in when Bam opened the doors? Does that make her an irregular?
Yeah,
Doesn't that make her, like, advantageously an
she's
irregular?
like an
But, like,
error.
she's more like a bug,
Yeah.
isn't she?
Yeah, she's a bug
She's
that
just a
all of us
normal
see
person
regular.
who managed to get through
Yeah, because
because
she
an
doesn't
actual
have any
regular appeared.
abilities, right? She just, like, you know, everyone can do Shinsu stuff, but, like, aside from that, she doesn't have, like, anything insane, it seems.
No,
She
yeah,
Uh
just
she's
has,
just
like,
lucky.
she has
yeah.
connections.
She's got
she's,
connections.
she's just good at networking.
Yeah, she's not working lady.
Yeah. Really lucky networking lady that slips through everything.
She just has, like, contacts everywhere, and they get her places. Like the
I think
blue-haired
Well, like
girl
she's an
and
yeah.
all that.
irregular. What they don't know is she like cheated her way in.
I'm starting to wonder, like, what that even means, really. Because, you know, watching the anime back, they talk about, like, oh, bam, you know, he's an irregular. Oh no, you can't associate with these people. They're dangerous. But like you never really you at least in the anime wise, you don't see another irregular.
Oh.
So they say like, you know, he's really dangerous, but like or like irregulars have always brought calamity to the tower, but like there's only been like 5
3,
Like
4?
5 for 4, yeah. They
Yeah.
talk about 3 in detail.
or wasn't Zahad or Jahad uh he's one, right? He's an irregular, I think. Or wait, are that all the tower heads irregular? I
Yeah,
don't
I guess
really remember.
the
Yeah.
10 heads and Jihad are all
Right? They all
irregulars,
climb the tower
technically.
together.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then Iraq is one. There's like Fan
Henry.
Fan Phantomanium
Yeah,
or something,
Fant
something like
Phantasmina or
that.
something, yeah.
And then like some other person, and then there's Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
But
like
Phantasmina killed a bunch of Jihad's people and Henry killed an administrator.
I mean and Bam, what the heck did Bam do? Oh, he gets pushed off a fish.
Yep.
why? What do you mean?
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
technically you ignited Black March. That was cool, I guess.
Yeah,
When
that's
you
true.
learn like how hard it's actually supposed to be to ignite things, and then you were like, wait, hold on. But how did Anak ignite so easily?
Oh
Well,
yeah, that
apparently
go
Well,
ahead.
because even Yuri was having trouble igniting. And she's like
well
probably the
apparently
best princess, right?
the Black March, the only condition for igniting is you have to look like a cute guy.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
forgot about
that's our
that then.
condition.
Oh, poor Yuri.
So
Oh,
yeah, Yuri had literally
it's
no chance.
unfortunate.
But Bam also like his irregular was he picks up skills or
He
wave
can
control
copy
pretty
stuff,
well.
right?
Yeah,
You
he
can
can copy
copy
stuff
things,
He's
too.
got the
yeah.
protagonist power.
And Shinsu apparently really likes him or something.
Yeah, he's blessed.
He's
Blessed by the
blessed by
Shinsu.
magic. Oh,
And it shows a lot more when like he goes through the whole like bug arc training thing and he comes out as like cold-blooded.
The data arc? Or
Uh I forgot which arc it is.
like
With
this very start of season 2, after he
yeah.
gets pushed.
oh, you know?
'Cause
I couldn't tell you. The events are so scrambled in my head. I like read a summary and then I was like, I still don't remember. And like reading it back, I was like, wait, White shows up on the train? And then
was it White
apparently he
a little bit
does.
oh wait, yeah, White was on the train. Like
He
he lives
is.
on the train.
Yeah, we meet him
White
on the train and
the
he
train is
defeats
his
him on the
arc.
train. It's
Yeah.
crazy because I thought that was later. I didn't even realize that Name Hunt station was during the train arc. I was like, wait,
Oh
Me
really?
yeah.
too.
Turns out it is.
I didn't realize we met Hodge and Song so early. Like he got
We
erased from
did?
my mind.
Yeah. You meet him like once or twice and then he just disappears and then he
Yeah,
becomes
in the
super
later seasons, everyone was like, Hodge and Song, you awesome guy. I'm like, who is this guy? And then I learned, oh, he's from like the way beginning. God dang.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just information overload. It's
yeah.
not the best thing. Yeah, if I had to gripe about something, it's that. Yeah, it's just it's not bad to have a lot of characters, but like when there's so much, like Bam's issue
Yeah,
is
what?
he doesn't like ditch anyone, right? Like everyone's his allies, and they're always his allies. The issue with that is like you just get too many allies. He's like amassing like Luffy's ship crew, but like fleet, but from just within the tower, and like no one recognizes each other. Like I think in recent chapters we saw like Lore or whatever his name is, the guy in the beginning with the like blanket who just like sleeps a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he showed up back up again, but he's like cooler now. It's like, oh, neat, cool. Didn't expect you to ever make this appearance again, but here you are.
Hey, you know what they say, you get good at networking, your friends stick around and they got your back in the future when there's a giant war or something.
Oh boy, yeah. When there's a giant war and you're helping out a giant dog and cat fight each other.
Uh,
And like
yeah.
was it before Heltron they introduced Karakaraka?
Yeah.
Karaka,
Yeah.
I think it's during Hell Train if I'm not mistaken. But I couldn't really tell you. Not gonna lie, the Hell Train arc,
That was a long one, but that's a very
it,
long arc, by the
really
way.
long.
Yeah.
So much happens. A lot of things that don't feel like they matter at the time being, and then actually do sort of matter. Also, wait, when
Yeah.
was the workshop arc?
It
Was that
was
after or
before.
during or
It
before?
was before Heltrain.
Before.
Yeah, it's like a little bit after the start of
Hmm.
season 2.
You ever realize that Tower of God predicted ChatGPT
What?
With Emily.
with Emily?
Oh my god. I forgot Emily is a
Oh.
thing.
I
I
mean,
freaking didn't. I like when I first saw it, that was my first time like realizing who this was. I felt like I was reading the story again. I was like, "What the frick? Who are you?"
I
Oh.
like if you think about it, Emily really was just ChatGPT before ChatGPT. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's sort of like weird. Uh, I don't know how good of advice this is, but I've been seeing some like YouTube shorts where people are like, "Oh, you don't know how to write a cover letter? Just ask ChatGPT." And it's like that doesn't sound right, but I guess you could.
It probably works.
And I've
It
seen people
seems.
doing stuff like, you know, like consulting ChatGPT for therapy or something. It's like, okay, you guys are something's wrong here. I don't know what, but it seems like it's going out of control.
Google's about to come out with their AI Bard.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
oh,
to like battle ChatGPT.
I see. I saw that
Yeah.
ChatGPT has like the paid model now, paid versus free model. It's like, well, that's all is gonna happen.
I'm
But yeah,
really
Emily.
curious.
A lot of people were like dependent on Emily during that arc. And
Oh,
then turns out she, in fact, was just ChatGPT all along.
Yep. And then there was this whole thing with was it Casino Beta, the
Oh,
Thorn?
yeah. The
oh,
fake
I
Thorn
totally forgot
people, and
about
then
that.
Bam, who has the
Yeah.
other fake Thorn, but the better, realer fake Thorn.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think there's like
he's got a
four
lot of
Thorns.
weird powers that they really don't talk about. Like, he has the
Yeah.
blue Teresa and the red Teresa, or Theresa.
Bam?
Yeah, he's got like a blue giant and a red giant in him.
Right.
Oh, that's
He
like super later, yeah.
But he
yeah.
has the blue one since like a while ago. They just
Or the
don't
red
talk
one.
about it. The red
The
one
red
shows up
one
later.
Wait, no, isn't the red one that shows up really early?
Wait, really?
because red one was in Death Floor,
No,
I
the red
think.
one's with Hell Joe, and that's way later.
Oh.
Wait, the red one showed up in like the very beginning of season 2.
Really? I thought the blue one. You know, maybe the recap did me wrong, but I could have sworn the blue one was there first.
Oh, maybe the
Because
blue.
I thought the blue
Maybe I
one
just
was there when like the Casino arc was happening. But I couldn't tell you. Honestly, it's just called at some point he gains tiny little horns in the red and blue,
Oh, yeah,
which is
yeah.
really
I think he
cute.
had absorbed it. Uh, he got it when he was at the workshop, because he got the
Hmm.
second piece of the thorn, right? And then he grew a little horn there.
Yeah, I I still don't. I
they
Bam's
kind
like
of
perpetually growing
explain
stronger, but also like stagnant at the same time.
when Hajin Song was training Bam. Apparently, they shoved a demon inside him, like sometime between season 1 and 2.
Oh, I love
And they
that.
Oh.
just show like
Here,
a
have a
short
demon.
flashback of it. And yeah, and they never mention it like until like they actually explain the red Throstle and the blue whatever the frick.
Oh.
But they're just like, yeah, in between season 1 and 2, we
What is
shoved a
Fog
demon
doing? Just
inside you.
like popping demons in people, turning people into AI, just not explaining anything. Uh,
And then she was like, hey, why don't we bring back this one random character from season 1? Ooh.
I mean, if you think about it, I forgot her name. Huarian or
Oh, the
whatever. The
guide.
guide. She was there since like day
Yeah.
one. She really was.
Yeah, she was
No
Yeah.
one knew
super
about her
early. I
though.
didn't even realize. She's just some random freaking chick.
Yeah, she's wearing a mask, and then she doesn't wear the mask anymore, and she's like, "Hey, I'm your guide. I'm on your side.
I am Fug.
Oh, yeah, I like
I am Bug."
forgot all about her until like the later chapters, and she's like actually really important. But it turns out she was actually really important even
Turns out
early
she was
on.
really important anyway.
Yeah, they said like she, I think her and Ivanka, whatever, like they were plotting this whole thing with Fug to grab the regular, well, Bam, in this case.
Hmm.
Everyone,
There's
they
so
see
many
the new
subplots
irregular.
everywhere.
Oh,
Shiny new toy.
Politics
Indeed.
everywhere.
oh,
Yeah, it just got a lot of. I listen. If it all goes somewhere, I'm fine with that. Like, if everything ties up and it's
yeah.
like, a few hundred chapters from now, everyone's like, oh my god, Sue's like a genius for like setting up this thing and wow. But like right now, it's just like another war. Or actually, no,
Oh, yeah.
Bam's getting married, right?
Yama's war
That's
has
what's
been going
happening.
on forever. Is he really? I haven't read
Or
the
that's
past
the
like.
current arc. The most recent one is
Oh,
like, well, no, they're like setting up a tournament.
Oh yeah, yeah,
with Bam's like marriage on the line.
yeah. They're bringing back all the princesses and
Yeah,
introducing new ones.
one of the
Oh,
family heads unfortunately found him, and Bam
oh,
is strong, but not that strong.
He,
oh, it was
yeah,
Beto, right, or something?
No, it is Trumir.
Tremere from
Oh,
Lopobia or something.
oh,
I think the guy you're thinking of is that the one
oh,
with glasses and a book, because that's not the
yeah.
one. This guy like wears like a respirator
Cat. Oh, okay, never. Okay.
and like
He is
really long
Bam.
sleeves.
A giant snake or something is around him. I forgot. Some animal's always around him.
Yeah, he's like
Oh,
anima
he's part of that
controller.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the family with from the white furry thing costume during the first
Oh
season.
yeah, yeah. The lamb, the weird lamb with a person inside. Oh
And
my
like,
god,
Then
yeah.
he like
that
barfs a bunch of
watching
fish.
that back
He's like,
was
I did
even
it.
weirder. There's just a point where in the anime, like the guy, like the lamb's mouth opens and then a pair of like skinny white arms pop out. It's like, oh,
Oh,
damn, what a weirdo.
I think Power of God. If it followed, because like the anime itself is like produced by like Japanese anime.
Hmm.
If they released episodes like back in the day with like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece,
Hmm.
where like you're not contained to 12 episodes per season, it would be a lot better
I think
because
so.
like there's like
Yeah,
1,000
There's
Power
chapters.
of God
way
needs
too
to be
much.
binged. There's no way anyone can remember something that happened like 10 years ago. Like, I didn't even realize that Power of God debuted in 2015. How was I supposed to remember what happened in 2015? You bring back Lore, I'm gonna be like, who? Is this the new
Yeah.
character? No, you have to remember episode 12.
Well, at this point, if they bring back Rachel, I'm gonna be like, who? Like,
I can't forget Rachel. Wait, sorry, question. What happened to Rack? Why did he become Mini Rack?
I
Oh, it was because Yuha or
Hanyu
Hanyu
something Hanyu
decided to
Sen or
compress
something.
them.
Yeah,
It was a really funny bit where Rack was like,
move
"Oh,
out of the way. You're too. You. I didn't
you're too
notice you.
small.
You
I didn't
short
even notice
person.
you." And then Hayun turned him into like a tiny creature and was like, "Oops, bumped into you. Didn't see you there. Oops." And he just like runs and rounds in a circle.
And the
So
person
he's
we're talking
been
about is like
nerfed?
the blonde guy who drinks instant coffee a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah, that part of one of the test
Yeah, one
psych
of the
test animals.
other potent
One
or
of the
ends up
test
being Fug
people.
guy, but yeah.
So
But I also think Sue just like said at some point he got tired of drawing Rock Big.
Yeah, that was the
So
official
that's
reason.
the actual reason. He just
so
needed
poor
a.
Rack just gets nerfed throughout the entire duration of the series.
I think he can go back. I
Yeah, he can go back to
hopefully,
being bid. He just needs something called a compression license from the administrator.
but he doesn't do it a lot.
Yeah,
He just
it's
becomes a
like
Yeah.
chibi for like the rest of most of it.
yeah, so he got nerfed
He also
basically.
doesn't do much.
He says
Really,
Got
for
his own arc a
despite being
little
a
bit ago.
sphere. Oh yeah, he does gain his own. Well, he gets like half an arc.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool, you got stones now. You're cool now.
oh during the training with Kun or whatever.
Yeah, with the data arc,
Yeah.
he gets stones. That's neat. There's a lot of
Okay.
unexplored territory. So
Are we
much.
only covering season 1 and 2, or do we want to go further? Because it feels like we remember more of the later stuff than the season 1 and 2.
I honestly, so much of my memory is so fragmented. I couldn't tell you like when things happened. It's just all like, oh yeah, this happened. Oh yeah,
Mm.
that thing happened.
Yeah, I
It's
remember bits and
bits
pieces
and
of the entire
pieces for
thing.
sure. Like if you asked me, like for example, like, oh, when did uh, I, I I actually couldn't tell you. I was gonna say when did Rachel betray Kun for the second time, but did she betray him a first time? That's arguable.
Uh, I feel like she pushed him out of the Like,
Well, so she pushed Bam, and then she
yeah,
stayed in the wheelchair. And then at some point, she stood up again and betrayed Kun's team.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kun was like, "Aha, Uno reverse. I knew you were always able to stand." And then something happened, and I don't remember what.
And then they had their rivalry where it was always like Kun versus Rachel in every situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird
Rachel's just not
one.
very talented, so she never won anything.
Yeah.
Just
So
Rachel slander day. It's fine.
until
That's
she
every
gets
day.
her OP fish that Pobodo gives her or something.
Yeah. It was literally like, oh, I'm just a thing. Here, OP
Yeah.
guy says, here's a fish.
Here's a
You're now
fish.
indestructible, basically.
Indestructible, super fast, super destructive. Here
She
you go
also
for
got
free.
like
You're
the
welcome.
demon guard guy who shows up at the beginning. He's
Oh,
like her
yeah, yeah, yeah.
escort
He just
for no real
appears.
reason.
Yeah.
It's so why did she
Her
even
power is connections.
why did
She
she
gets things.
why did she even like bother disguising herself? I does Bam even care about Rachel anymore? But he does. Of course he
He
does.
does. Deep down inside, he does.
Oh my,
Bam's
during the
too
train
nice.
arc, Bam has a yandere moment.
He does?
I forgot.
A
Yeah.
yandere mode?
He's like,
Against
yeah,
who?
he has with
Rachel?
Rachel.
Oh?
Yeah, Rachel's just trying to like leave me alone. He's like, no, you unacceptable.
What?
It was kind of insane.
I feel like the crux of it is just Bam's a large simp or something.
Yep.
Bam really is just simp.
He's just I he might be obsessed or something. Poor
A
kiddo.
little bit.
A little bit, because like the story was Rachel looked after him basically all of his childhood. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. He was
that's his
like
mother.
alone for like 1,000 years until Rachel came.
I
Yeah.
yeah.
He
But
built
then
himself
like
a
she
really big
doesn't
tower.
I mean, he's found more people now. He doesn't have to rely on Rachel anymore. But he's still
I mean,
like really I I feel like at some point you gotta just let go. It's like it's not working out. Surely she does not seem to give a shit about you. I think you just like live your
she
own
tried to
life
kill him
now.
I think
multiple times.
past Hell Train, he like finally lets go.
Yeah.
Took him
And
a
then
while though.
past hell training, he lets go. I think he still has a soft spot, but then he's more all about his teacher,
Yeah.
Jin
The
Sun
good
Han.
old teacher mentor student relationship.
Yeah, which totally, I
It's
didn't even
charming.
realize he, that's when I thought he was first introduced. Like after Hell
You
Train.
know,
I
if you
didn't
didn't say
realize he
anything, Chris, I
freaking
would have
came
thought
all
that's
the way in
when
the
he was
beginning.
first introduced as well.
Yeah, I didn't
When
realize we
when
met
was
this
he
guy
introduced
so early.
before? Like, well,
He
what did
came
he
at
do?
like at the end and the beginning of season one.
Wait, really?
Or
Like,
not at the beginning of season one, the beginning of season two and the end of season one.
wait, was he on the
He's like
train?
he's way like this was like after Rachel pushed him and then Hodgson Sung's like there.
What?
Didn't he pick him up? Because like Bam was like on the ground and he's just like, "Hey, look, a dude."
Hey, look, a
Or
guy.
no, they planned for Bam to get betrayed so that Hodgson Sung could train him to become a Slayer. Like
Wait, but
that's how Bam became Jewel Veil Grace with Hodgson Sung training him.
wait. So, oh god, did Rachel already know?
Wasn't
So
Huh?
there a
Rachel
theory?
teamed up with Fug to push
Yeah.
Bam out.
How did she gain so much knowledge in so little time? Was she? I
My question is, how
so
did
They
many
Fug
just
things
know to go
don't make
Rachel?
sense.
Fug knew that Bam wanted Rachel, and Rachel wanted to be
Hmm.
a hero, and they just had a mutual deal. Like, you guys can have your irregular, and then I get to be hero lady.
Oh yeah, she's a hero complex by
Uh,
playing a villain.
yeah. She may be a
And
hero
then
in her own eyes, but she's a villain to us.
Uh,
yeah, she goes through her whole. Oh wait, no, she has a lot of knowledge because of what was
Emily?
a spoiler? No, it was Emily, and then if we go really far, into the series, um, we find out why Rachel knew who Bam was, and she has all this information. I can go into spoilers if we're okay with it for anyone that hasn't read up to the most recent chapters.
And if they ever start reading, they're gonna forget.
Okay,
I already
but
forgot. Yeah.
it goes to a point where Rachel actually met Bam's parents.
Oh wait,
Oh, she's
I
that old?
forgot
Oh,
that Bam
frick.
even had parents.
Yeah, like Bam has parents, but Rachel's still
They were
relatively young
important
because like
too.
they, the two Bam's parents, I think climbed the
Are
tower
two of
with
the
Kai.
original? Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
Yeah,
one
but
of the.
they were like erased from history.
It
yeah,
was like Jihad's best friend and Jihad's lover, and then like
But they
they
were
loved each
actually in
other.
love, actually.
Yeah.
yeah. It was a love
Yeah.
And then
triangle.
Jihad's like, "You've been banished, Dad. God dang it, my best friend, my wife. What the frick?"
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think like the whole reason why Rachel's a bitch was like Bam's mom was like, "Oh, these are all the stories," and then here's all this information and told her all the stories, and then Rachel's like, "I'm jelly. I want to be special, and then I want to be hero," and then that's how it all
Uh,
started.
Oh, so Rachel's like mega old.
I mean, technically, so is Bam for some reason.
Oh
they
yeah,
just don't
it's
grow up,
Bam spent most of his
or they
life in
don't
the
age
hole.
really.
Yeah.
He's like,
And what is up with this tower? Like, I remember reading that they technically did not finish completing climbing the tower.
Did they
oh
not?
yeah, Jihad made like a deal with the administrators to like not climb all the way to the top, and he would like stop everyone from climbing to the top.
Yeah, it was like I think it was like if there's 100 floors in total, it's like he stopped at 98 or something.
Oh my, what the?
And now he's just being a gatekeeper,
Yeah.
except he like owns floors 1 to 98.
Everyone's a gatekeeper. Everyone who gets assigned a floor is just a gatekeeper.
Yeah, honest to
Yeah.
God.
It's just
This is
a
like
bunch of gatekeeping all the way up.
it's like the other webtoon something the world falls. If
Uh,
anyone
the
uh
world after the end, or
yeah, that one where like you're climbing a giant tower. It feels like that, except
yeah,
this tower is much bigger, has a lot more gatekeeping, and uh, well, every level is like an entire world.
my brain instinctively goes to Sword Art Online whenever a tower is mentioned. It's unfortunate,
Oh,
but it does.
Yeah, it's basically Aincrad, yes,
Everything is Sword Art. I always knew. Bam was just another sword wielding protagonist,
but he.
but he
Oh
isn't.
right, he isn't.
He
He's a.
technically does, but that's also sort of spoilers. It's how train spoilers. But he like
cool.
gets the ability from White's clone. So technically I
Oh
think he
yeah.
can, but that's like not his own thing.
Okay, like Bam's real superpower, in my opinion, is he's got a giant stomach. He just eats everyone, takes their abilities, basically.
He can, yeah,
Uh,
he's storing a lot of foreign powers inside of himself.
Yeah.
Just yeah,
a
got a
lot of
large
people
container
want him.
soul. It's
Well,
like very, yeah, it's like very valuable. It's like if you he's becoming like uh I don't know what he's called actually in other cultures. Damn, this is an analogy that doesn't work because I don't know the English translation of it. In Journey to the West, uh the like monk guy who's like the main character in a way.
The
There
prophet.
yeah. He supposedly if people eat like his flesh, they'll become enlightened. It's like that.
Oh
I feel Bam is
yeah.
that. Everyone's like, "Oh, I want a piece of him." And then
And
so
in the
everyone's
end,
just trying to control
yeah.
Bam. But I he I ugh. We're at war now and now we're at a tournament arc.
I wish the war went in a different direction
I
because
wish it wasn't a huge board game.
yeah, like they hyped him up where he basically has like Rasengan, but he
Yeah,
doesn't really use it.
he
Actually,
doesn't
only used
have
it once.
many chances. He doesn't fight a lot. Or if he
Yeah,
does, it's like short. I sort of
it
wish he
was
could just like
more.
have time to like show off his shit.
Yeah, like they showed off more fights from Caliban than him.
That's true. But I guess it was like because Caliban's technically on their side or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like super OP.
And like I get showing Yama, like I understand that. That's
Yeah.
fair. But yeah, Bam doesn't really fight a lot. It doesn't like all out fight a lot. Like activates stuff fires one thing and then someone's like, alright, that's enough.
Oh, that reminds me. In the board game arc, my biggest problem
The board
with
game
Tower
arc.
Game, it's the fight between him and White. How Bam's basically like, "Oh, I'm unkillable." I don't know if you remember what happens.
I personally don't remember. Chris, I'm assuming you know what Brian's talking about there.
No, I didn't get to that part in my reread yet, so I
I
don't
will leave it.
remember any.
I'll leave it alone. So like when you get there, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because like when I saw this, I'm like, no, he has super plot armor.
I can vaguely assume to know what you're talking about because of what happens in that arc, but I honestly still don't really understand what happened in that arc. And there's a lot of like all the other characters that you meet, the major characters that you meet on the train, are like tied
Mm,
in with White, but then they also like never show up again. But White shows up again, sorta. It, there's just a lot of questions when I read that thing.
yeah. Like I still like. Honestly I love this series because of like the. I'll call it world development, but it's just really floor by floor, and then you
Hmm.
just have this giant goal that it's like you feel like you're going on an adventure for.
Yeah, I like the universe it's like built around.
Yeah.
It feels it feels really confusing but like cohesive.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like you're trying to find One Piece, but One Piece is like you're climbing up to the top of the tower because no one
You're
knows
trying
it's
to find
there.
One Piece, but it's gate kept. So
Yeah.
so you'll probably never
But
get there.
it's paywalled right now by Jihad, so
It's paywalled. Yeah. Just a lot of weird things going on, a lot of weird internal politics from all sides.
yeah.
There's like whole civilizations that live in the tower, but I don't think we've like met them yet besides the canine people. And those are technically in
Yeah.
captivity, technically.
Yeah, and then all the
But there's
other
like
animals too.
supposedly like a bunch of like a lot of the people Bam meets, they're like, oh, like I was raised on this floor and I started climbing because my family got slaughtered or something. So there's like people that just live whole lives in like a certain floor,
Yeah.
which is sort of
In
crazy
the
because you just sort of see it as like, oh, they're just climbing the floors.
yeah, like the Death Floor, one of the person lived there.
Oh yeah,
Something happened to that kid.
Helljo, that one,
I
that
think it
arc,
was.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a whole like weird city. And he just lives to plug holes. That's a weird arc.
Yeah. I honestly think no shot at him, but like if there were less hiatuses, obviously it's because Ryu has health
Health
issues once in a
issues,
while.
yeah.
But like I think like maybe if he doesn't take this many breaks, then like there'd be less disconnects.
I mean, in a way, it sort of reminds me of like Hunter x Hunter. You know how like every time Hunter x Hunter actually comes back, you have to like go back and reread like the whole thing again. Like if Hunter x Hunter comes back this year, I'm gonna have to go and reread the whole cruise ship arc again, just to like remember why everyone was there.
Wait, didn't Hunter x Hunter come back and then go back on hiatus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it came back during like November, and then like at some point in December or something, it went back on hiatus. We got like a decent amount of chapters, enough to give me even more confusing backstory and subplots, and then just back to nothing.
Hunter Hunter x Hunter is hard to read because it's like reading an essay in the recent chapters.
I mean, if you read like this is also manga stuff, just like spoiler-ish. If you ever read like Jujutsu Kaisen's currently manga, it's also feeling like Hunter x Hunter. Not a bad
Ooh.
thing. If you like reading words, go for it. But if you don't like reading a page where there's more words than picture, then you might not want to read it.
I'm gonna read it eventually. I dropped it for a bit because I'm like I didn't enjoy following it week to week.
Which one, JJK?
Uh, yeah, JJK.
Hmm.
Um, what part am I at right now? The something games.
Like calling
Like,
games.
yeah, yeah, Culling
Yeah.
Games, and they introduce like a bunch of new characters. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't
battle royale
care.
right now. It's
Just give me Gojo. Like that's all I care about.
uh, some things have happened. Good things. Welcome changes. But yeah, they
Ooh.
just dumped a bunch of like another like 10 or 15 characters on us. And it's like I get that I understand, but like yeah, just give us the fan service. Give Gojo. But yeah, in
Yes.
particular, this isn't really a spoiler, but there's just a character who shows up and his power is like pachinko.
Okay, wait, I got there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. If you try to read through like his abilities, they don't make sense. I don't know how to play pachinko still, sort of. Actually, no, I sort of understand the logic. I think it's like weird pinball, but like his abilities are based around him like winning certain combos,
Yep.
and his domain doesn't make any sense to me, but it's just it gives him plot armor.
For X amount of seconds.
Yeah. But that whole fight reminded me of there's a particular fight in Hunter x Hunter manga. It is the Hisoka versus Crollo fight.
Ooh.
And I don't know, Chris, I don't think you read manga, do you?
No.
Okay. Well, if you eventually get there, if the anime ever covers it, and or wait, Brian, have you read?
Yeah, I'm caught up
Okay,
on Hunter x Hunter. Well,
gotcha.
up to the most recent
Hmm.
chapters on the boat.
Okay. Yeah, that fight, there is so much going on. uh with like just everything that Crollo pulls out. He's like, oh yeah, since you last saw me, I have gained like 5 new abilities, haha. And then proceeds to use them all, but they're all confusing AF to look at because they're all like roughly the same thing. It's like really cool. I really like the fight, but I want to see it animated at some point because it's so confusing. It'll
I
be
know what you mean.
wonderful.
It's like part of it was Corollolo's ability to control like the crowd or something like that. Like,
Yeah, I'll try to list them
yeah.
out. It's like he has one ability to manipulate puppets. He has another ability to turn people into the puppets. He has a third ability that he can use to swap the faces of the puppets with himself. He has a fourth ability that allows him to like put like a sun and a moon thing on people. And
Ooh,
then
yeah,
if they
yeah,
like put their hands together, they explode or something.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then there's like a fifth ability that's also a symbol on the hand, but it's like left and right arrow keys, and they do something. I don't remember. I think it's magnetic pull or something. He's just got a lot of hand abilities, hand and face abilities, and he just does all of them during the fight, but none of them make sense. It was like reading Chainsaw Man.
Hunter x Hunter
Specifically,
to me,
yeah. There's a point in Chainsaw Man that I'm not gonna try to spoil because I know Chainsaw Man's hot right now,
yeah.
but yeah, confusing but very fun to read in a way. Big brain power.
I was gonna mention Hunter x Hunter when I was watching the anime. I'm like, this feels like a League of Legends thing. Like Hisoka is just Shaco, like a perverted Shaco.
Oh
Um,
boy.
Corollolo's like Rise with spellbook, so I guess technically he's just Faker. Um, and there's one guy in the tournament fighting arc with Hisoka. I'm like, this is just Udyr. Like, what the heck is this?
Oh boy, that's
Okay.
funny. What is gone then? What would he be in League? I don't think there's anyone in that.
There's a tiny kid who's
There-
using yo-yos.
Wait,
Fishing
what?
rod. He's like mini Jax, kind of. Because he has a
Oh,
fishing
I
rod.
guess. I guess I was thinking more so of his like Junkin stuff, like
Oh
his
the
rock paper scissors.
Rock, paper,
oh
scissors crap.
But I don't think anyone
yeah
in League really rock paper. Gwen, I guess. Not
yeah.
really. There's no one that does like rock paper scissors.
But there's
I
a
guess.
punch like Vi.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe TF for his cards, but
Yeah.
eh.
What's his the spiky lightning boy is just Kennen.
Ah, Killua.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Leorio's just a doctor, really. Well,
Who's yeah.
I suppose you want to go and rate the thing based on our criteria.
Uh. Ooh, that's okay. I'll do art for season 1 to 2 is like I kind of dig it because it's old, but like when I compare it to like art now, it's like it's not that great. So I give it like a 5. But like overall, I like the art style now because it just really
Hmm.
matched up to
I guess
webtoons.
let's just rate it on like overall.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
better.
Overall, I'll give it a 6.5 for the art.
Hmm. Yeah, I will say, reading it back, I was like, wow, this art really improved. Like first chapter to like
Yeah.
50 to 100 chapters in, wow, the art drastically improves. Like the backgrounds, everything. It's sort of incredible.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, for the first time, and you know, I gotta bring back Redice. Like, it wasn't just like polished from the start. It's like he actually
They're
got
out
better at
really
drawing,
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like as he kept trying, which
You
is
could
sort of
see the
incredible. You don't
improvement.
usually see that. Like you see it also in like One Piece as well. If you read back like old One Piece, you're like, oh, okay, Luffy
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
really scuffed. But he looks good now, and it's like, yeah, I guess people just like get better at drawing.
That's part of the charm for me for Tower Guides because like you can see his
The
improvement in drawings.
improvement, yeah.
Yeah.
It is nice to see as well. And reading it back, it's just like, wow, wow. Just look at them all. Look at Kun. He looks so derpy. What happened? Gotta glow up.
Now
Yeah.
he's K-pop model.
Honestly, yeah. The art, yeah, it's just like, it got way better. And like, it's not insane, but I think the character art isn't terribly insane, but like the technique art is really cool. I do like all the like, you know, I can summon like 5,000 fish or whatever. And then just like everyone's sort of individual powers, though it doesn't make too much sense to think about it. I'd give it like a, weird. I'll give it like an 8, but honestly, it's weird. So like for the most part, what we review here, uh, like Chris and I will just say stuff like the art carried the thing. I don't know if the art carries this.
It doesn't.
It
It's
doesn't.
honestly not the main focus in a way. Or well, if it's like it gets better, but like you know, early on, maybe like 2015 Tower of God, I don't think people read it for the art.
Yeah, it's
I think
definitely
we
the
just
stories
kept
and the
reading it because
characters.
story and characters were good.
Yeah.
It's like OG One Punch Man in that way. It's sort of interesting how that
Yeah.
ended up. What will you rate the art, Chris? Out of 10.
Yeah, I haven't read any of the newer chapters in a hot minute, so only the old chapters are in my
Hmm.
mind.
Well, I guess your score might be lower
Oh,
then.
Oh.
yeah, I'll give it like a 7.
Yeah,
I was a bit
yeah.
surprised.
It's
Like there are some scenes where like he puts a lot of effort into the drawings, but most of the scenes, I mean, wow.
Bam got a lot cooler when he became jovial Grace. I'll say that much. All of a sudden, his techniques started looking a whole lot jazzier. But then again, he doesn't really do a lot of fighting before that. Because he doesn't really know what Shinsu is at that point. No one really knows what Shinsu is.
He was just an innocent boy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone was sort of innocent, except for Lori, who apparently just knew how to use Shinsu when no one else did.
Yeah.
I mean, Kun had his OP bag.
The OP bag that he stole from his dad that
Yeah.
apparently didn't matter because his dad never really bothered to take it back.
I mean, he stole a lot of things from his dad.
He did steal a lot of things.
All the things in his bag are like absolutely cracked. He's like,
Yeah, wasn't the
oh,
knife also
Dad gave it to
stolen?
me.
Yeah.
Oh, the knife he won.
No,
The
not the
workshop
workshop
level.
knife, right? You're talking about workshop knife?
Oh, you
No,
mean
his original
like
knife,
knife?
right?
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
stole everything.
Yeah.
Fucking took it all. He was like, we're family. Mine.
Your treasury,
Fucking
my
business.
treasury, my inheritance. Technically, before I got kicked out of the family.
Ugh.
What was the
Well,
next category?
the next category here is going to be story. I guess overall story, give or take. Or whatever story we
God.
remember.
Yeah.
It's like I want to give it an 8.5. Actually, I'll give it an 8.5 because it makes me feel good. It's like an adventure.
Right,
Like I like
8.5 then.
everything that goes with it. I'm gonna ignore all the plot holes and everything that gets forgotten. So it's like 8.5 for
There,
me.
yeah. I honestly, I almost want to give it, yeah, like an 8 or a 8.5 as well. It is really good. It's good pacing as well. It's
Yeah.
arguably almost a little bit too slow in a way. I I wish it wasn't so organic. So used to shit pacing and just
The
power
super fast
fantasy.
pacing of the
Super
power
fast
fantasies
pacing. The character goes from
problem.
0 to 100 with like no lead up.
Yeah.
And then you just accept it because it's power fantasy. Like
Ugh.
Bam's not really power boosted or anything. He's definitely not the strongest person in the tower by far.
He's getting carried.
He is getting carried. In the like board game arc with the like war heroes and all that, those guys are
Yeah.
like the superpowers. They got sealed for a reason. Bam's just here.
I also noticed like power fantasies and webtoons, they don't have a training arc.
Well, some of them do. It's just like 10 chapters. It's like a training arc, except like every time you level up, you gain like 5 levels. Or well, okay, so I guess only for the ones where it's like regression, reincarnation, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If it's like you showed up and you got isekai'd and you're just strong, then you're just strong. You yeah. Like I mean obviously sort of in that case, Overlord, no training arc, just straight into the bullshit. But if Ainz had to go through a training arc to get strong, I don't think people would like it that much.
Yeah. Also like the pacing now with anime and stuff, like it has to be faster.
Mm-hmm. I'll give it an 8. I honestly Tower of God is just it's like maybe it's the nostalgia calling to me. Listen, God of High School has already ended. Tower of God's now like the one remaining.
What do you mean the game are still here, right?
Okay,
Uh-huh.
well,
We don't talk about the game.
Uh-huh.
I haven't read the gamer in many years. Technically, if we were like discussing this a few years back, we could have said, What do you mean? Dice is still here." But we don't talk
Oh
about Dice either.
yeah. Dice had such a good concept. Oh my
It
god.
had a good thought process, and then they were like, "Hey, how do you feel about a battle royale to end things off? What about a battle royale that spans for like 300 chapters?" Yeah, and then things just got really weird. Alrighty, Chris. Once again, it is up to you to discertain from what you've sort of read and sort of remembered from, I guess, the beginning, what would you like to give the story?
Uh, hmm. Okay, reading it back, some of the translations are wrong too.
Ooh.
I was a little bit. I now understood my confusion as a child when I was reading the story and why
Yeah,
I
how does
like
it
blacked
feel
out part of
growing
it.
up reading Tower of God? You know how people
I
say like, I
just.
grew up reading One Piece. You wonder if who's out there like, I grew up reading this thing called Tower of God.
Oh my God, they would not have understood it. There are like quite a few like just translation errors, and you're just like, huh?
Well, but is that
How
just
did I read
webtoon
this?
side?
Yeah, it's just webtoon side.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Webtoon is like weirdly sloppy sometimes.
Hmm.
this was like one of the early like this. Yeah, this is one of the super early ones. So like they weren't
Hmm.
as big back then, I guess. But um,
Yeah, it
honestly, I
doesn't
really
help
like
either way.
Tower of Gods. Yeah, I really like the story progression. It's kind of whack. It's kind of whack how they like just bring back like people from like a billion
Yeah, hey,
chapters ago and like
remember this
hop them back
guy?
in.
They're
Like
back.
I don't. And you know what? It might sound nice to bring back old characters, but God, they do it so often, and always like like everyone in the comments like, "Oh my God," and I'm just like, "Who?"
Yeah, you've got to have a
Yeah.
real big brain to remember all the characters, I think. Honestly, like if they brought back like Anak or like even like Andrasi or whatever, like I'd feel like I barely remember who you are, but sure,
Uh,
hello, welcome back.
uh, Spoiler alert: they are coming back.
Ah, yes, of
Oh,
course.
oh my God, yeah, frick. But yeah, great stories, amazing arcs. I it's so like fleshed out. The end, like it always feels like a new story is unfolding. It's pretty good. I'd give it like a 9.
Alrighty, you know what? This is shaping to be perhaps our highest rating thing, which is crazy. We usually how this show goes, Brian, is like we go, okay, the art's like a 10 out of 10, and then the story's like 4, and the characters are like 3. So
A
Ooh.
lot of trashy.
honestly, yeah, this one's like sort of even. Rare that this happens, honestly. Well, wait, the
We could.
last score we do is characters. It's like characters, perhaps character development if there is any, and in this case there is. You get to watch Bam grow up.
I'm so conflicted because like when we talk about the main characters, Bam, Rachel, I guess,
Bam
Kun,
Kun, Rachel, Rack, I guess.
yeah, they have, in my opinion, like insane character development because like
Hmm.
you can actually see them grow from basically little babies, right? And
Hmm.
then you can, it's really fun watching them to grow and they progress through the whole story. Uh, and then there's the other part that I really don't like, where there's some characters that get just gets dropped overall that like, oh, I really like.
Yeah,
Um,
not gonna lie, I liked Kun's team when he was like carrying Rachel up the tower.
yep,
They
yep,
like never show up again, I'm pretty sure. And I get
yeah,
that like they all got like shot and betrayed, but like they didn't die.
they're just somewhere in the
They're
tower.
just like yeah, I guess they're just existing now.
I'll give it. I want to give it like an 8. Yeah, I'll give it an 8. And like my reasoning behind it is just like the character development of the main characters that they follow is like you'll love these characters. And then there's
Mm.
always like the other characters that they introduce. Like, I mean, when I say introduce, I mean like Jinhut, whatever the teacher's name is, Calavan, and like even White low key. It's like I like these characters. I want to see them grow because they seem like really cool, badass, or like just really lovable. Um, and like I low key play the Tower of God game because of the characters. So it's like I have to
Yeah.
really like it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of characters that they introduced that like I didn't want to care about, but I ended up caring about.
Yeah.
Like you know the prince guy, like kid.
Uh, yeah.
Oh, Wangnan.
No, no, no.
No, the other
Like,
one.
Oh,
just like
oh,
straight
oh,
up, his name's Prince.
the debt collector.
Yeah, debt collector's son. But then he like ends up on Bam or Viol's team in a
Yeah.
way, and then I still don't know what he's doing, but I guess he's there. And like all the people that he met there, there's like I don't remember his name honestly. It's like the guy with like a buzz cut, gray hair.
Oh, Arachraptor. What?
Ah, crapter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, some sort of dinosaur. Yeah. He's like yeah, that guy, and then there's like all the people they meet on the train. Like I think Aka or something,
Yeah, Aka,
and then like
Oro,
Oro.
Stachi.
Yeah.
yeah, those
Oh,
guys.
also the rice pot trainer guy.
Rice Padre.
Oh, the rice function. Yeah. The
I almost think
god
I
of
know what you're
guardians.
talking
Yeah.
about. There's just there were a lot of it. There's just a lot of people introduced. They're all like cool, but then you're like, okay, you're neat. I hope I see you again. You're never gonna see these people again.
No, thinking
They,
Steve's gonna pop them in like 10, like 1,000 chapters later, and he'll be like, "Remember you?"
It's gonna be like the
it's like
last
One Piece.
level, like when they face Jihad, or like the final floor. They're like, all right,
All
all
right,
the
here's
friends will come
here's your like one
together.
page remembrance. You contributed. It's
Like
like
the
One Piece
Naruto
in that
left war.
way. Like you see Luffy and his like fleet now, but like you're not gonna see these people again. They're gonna show up like whatever chapters from now when like Luffy fights Blackbeard or something, but like they're not that important. I don't hate it either. It's yeah. I like Vam. I like Kun. Kun's cool actually. Kun's very cool. Rock got nerfed. He did. He's just sad and small now. I think he got
Oh,
used to being
cute.
small.
Yeah.
You know what? As long as Sue's fingers feel better drawing Rock small, that's fine. Uh, guess I'll just stick with it. I'll give it a 7. It's not like bad, but I just don't terribly enjoy it when a series like dumps a bunch of characters and then they're just like, hey, care about these people, but only for like these 100 chapters. And then after these 100 chapters, they will never show up again. So even if you like them, cool. Here's a like brand new cast. Cause like now that we're in the war bit, you got introduced to like a bunch of new people. Or well, not really newish. Like even Hockney, he's new. He didn't exist like a few
Oh
100
yeah.
chapters back, but like now he's here, and Huarian is just back, I guess. And then Rachel's not even present really.
She's in the last chapter.
Ah, I I already have to reread. I barely really recall. Honestly, the whole last bit was just Yama's backstory. Yama's the main character now. Bam is a featured side character. It's just like Lookism. I'm not gonna discuss Lookism here. It might go too long. Chris, what would you like to give the characters?
Yeah, I'll have to give them like an 8.
An 8?
There's so
Alrighty.
many. I love the characters so much. Honestly, they're all so funny. Sue is a really funny person.
He's made a good world. Like
Yeah.
everyone everyone's it's just nice.
I have to drop a couple points because I don't understand what Rachel's deal is. Like before, I remember people hating her. Now I'm just like, why? Why? What's her deal? Huh?
I still don't really understand, but I mean, if she's jealous because of the parents thing, then I
Bam.
guess
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? I suppose she's just jelly. Nothing you can do about that, I suppose, but it's like ah,
He's one irrational person. That's all I can say. Yeah, and like we said earlier, like there's so many characters and this constant like dropping in and
All
then
right.
trying to like reclaim the
Looks
context is
like
just so
for the
much.
most part it is a 7.7 out of 10.
Ooh.
Which, you know what? I that's that's higher than our usual score, which is crazy because our usual score is around like 7.35 or something. 7.33 I think is what we usually give things.
Oh wow.
Dang.
Which is crazy because once again it's just me and Chris giving the score. Art is like a 10 and the story is like a 4. The characters are like a 5.
Yeah, I'm actually
Damn.
a little bit surprised at this. I thought it'd be slightly higher. Like, I thought it'd be in the eighth. But oh,
I thought
I
it would
mean,
be
fair.
too, but
I
I
anchored it down
mean,
by the way, so by 6.5. That's why.
yeah, it is what it is. You know what? The honest opinion is better than trying to inflate the score. I feel
The
like,
art in the beginning was not as successful. It
yeah,
is
it
what it
got
is.
way better,
Yeah.
but like, if we're just, yeah, if you're reading the series like new, like right now, it, yeah, just read it for the plot. Like, don't read it for the art. It's not gonna be your main focus. Like, this isn't like eye candy. Like, in a
I think even
way,
the anime is following the old art style too, right?
it
So
did. It was sort of
yeah.
weird to look at it as well. I was like, wow, they really like adhered to like the sort of like raw like art style. It was sort of like, like watching like Mob Psycho or something. It's just like a different vibe from usual stuff. Not bad.
Oh.
It was interesting though. Well, we've reached the part where after the rating, we just sort of do our final thoughts and then we end off. So, got any general final thoughts about the thing?
Um. Honestly, I hope Sue makes a speedy recovery so he can finish this story. I want to finish
True.
it before my lifetime.
Uh,
Also because like I really hope he recovers it. Like it's a great story. I do recommend people reading this.
Hmm.
Uh, it's a bit of a pain to go through, but it's kind of like One Piece. You just binge through it. Um,
Yeah, and I mean, One Piece is, well, it's nearing the end, supposedly. So,
it's in like the final arc, I think.
yeah. And I think Oda said something at some point about like 3 years for the final, something like that.
Yeah.
But that was like 2 years ago. I can't really tell you. I feel like during the pandemic, he said something about it's gonna end soon, but I don't know
Yeah.
what ending soon means. We are technically supposedly in the final arc, which is crazy because if this is the final arc, I don't understand how it's gonna end. But I
For
have
One Piece or Tower of
for
God?
One Piece.
Yeah.
If you're caught up, I guess we
Yeah.
could sort of mention things, but like I One Piece has so many plot holes at the moment. I would be so sad if they ended off right now.
I mean, when he says it's the final arc, it's probably going to run for like another year or two because Wano was
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 years. It felt like.
That's the most insane part. They're good
Ooh.
arcs. They're just not like I don't feel like they're the end arc.
Yeah. I'll say one final piece here before I let the both of you say your pieces. One thing I really, really liked about Tower of God,
Hmm.
I forgot which chapter, but when I went to the comment section of reading the chapter, all I saw was fuck Rachel. And it's like very rare do I see such a succinct audience that says the exact same thing for a manga.
Everyone piling on the same character.
Yep. So
Yeah.
like props,
Yeah.
props.
Yeah. I appreciate that the fan base unanimously hates Rachel. It's good. I I'm glad that Sue has at least written Rachel in a way that no one can find anything good to say about her because usually people will be like, "Oh, but I love her." No one loves Rachel.
No
If
one
you love
does.
Rachel, you are not a Tower of God fan. You are just a pretender. It's like if you ever say, "Oh yeah, I think I've read Tower of God," and someone says, "Well, what are your opinions on Rachel?" "Oh, I love that character." No, you don't.
There's
No, you
only one
don't.
answer to that. It's fuck Rachel.
She's just she yeah, I was reading back the wiki as well, and I think in the trivia section on Rachel, it said something like, "Fun fact: Sue has said that Rachel is one of the protagonists, but not because she is a good person or something, or not because she's a likable character." He said something like that apparently, and it's like, you know what? That's fair. You don't always have to have protagonists that people like. Yeah, I guess in a way, this is like also pretty cool. But yeah, no, I don't really have anything to say there. Uh, it's a solid read. It's a long read, but it's a solid one. Like if you just want to watch like a kid grow up, really, it's crazy actually that they apparently is super old outside of the tower, but didn't really start growing up until he was in the tower. That's sort of weird to think about as well, but you know what? We don't question that. It's a good one.
Mhm.
You get to like care about a bunch of characters that you really shouldn't get too attached to. They don't die or anything, but like they just cease to exist until Sue remembers that they're there. So it's like it is what it is, but I would definitely recommend checking this one out. Uh, I believe there should be a season two showing up at some point,
Yeah, I think it was
which
confirmed that they want to do one.
would be neat. But yeah, I guess so far we got the game. I did not look into the game much. Uh, Played the tutorial. The UI seemed confusing, and yeah, just it felt like the Overlord game, and that's a whole other weird can of worms. But the Overlord Gotcha game, if anyone's played it and is listening for some reason, uh, despite this not actually being like an anime review show, uh, that game has like a weird UI going on, like very JRPG made in like the early 2000s feel.
Oh,
It it's a weird one. It's also very pay to win feeling. It feels like Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, it's a whole different tangent though. Yeah, my ending thoughts though. Read the thing. It's cool. It's got a lot of history as well. It's not like a lot of the webtoons we reviewed that like literally just came out like a year ago or something. This thing's like been running since what 2015, so like it's been 8 years. That's sort of
yes.
insane, and it's definitely probably gonna keep going for I'd assume another 2 or 3 years.
Depending
But
on
yeah,
when he comes back.
yeah, when he comes back. Chris, you got any closing remarks?
Read Tower of God. Woo.
Yeah, well, it's been fun having you on. Thank you for joining us for this episode of not really. Oh, you know what? Did we ever wait? No, Tower of God doesn't have skill windows, does it? I don't think it does. Yeah, we don't have to talk about them.
There's a
Technically, this
lighthouse in
show
one.
is about like oh, well, it's called "We Hate Skill Windows," but I don't know if we've ever seen a thing where we really hate the skill windows for. But I don't think Tower of God has skill windows, like not in
No,
the
not really.
conventional sense.
Yeah, not the conventional sense.
Yeah, it's fair. You know what? That's fair. Well, thank you for watching then, and we will be back next week, Chris and I, with I believe we're reviewing Superhuman Battlefield.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's the one we chose. It's gonna be a
Yep.
bit of a slog. That one's definitely not the best. It's like not any cream of the crop. But we'll give it a go, and that's what we do. So thank you for watching, and everyone, we'll see you next week.